Welcome to episode 105 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Laws Guy. It's February 13, 2000. We're in Lagos. We're about to watch a penalty that is scored by physics, confirmed by television, and erased by the referee. A ball hits the underside of the crossbar, bounces down, clearly over the line, and spins back out. A ghost goal, except it isn't a goal at all, because the official don't give it. And in the final, that's not just a bad decision. That's a trophy changed in real time. We've been inside AFCON drama before on this show, from the tragedy around Togo in 2010 to Ethiopia's early title in 1962 and to Ivory Coast's shootout marathon in 92. Today adds a new chapter, the day the line mattered most, and nobody had the technology to prove it fast enough. So how did we get here? At the turn of the millennium, AFCON is still the continent's proving ground, the tournament where reputations are made at home under a pressure you can't recreate in Europe, and two nations are looming over the era like heavyweights. Nigeria, the 90s golden generation. They won AFCON in 94, Olympic gold in 96, and they look like a team built for a home coronation. JJ Okocha, Kanu, West, Sunday Olise, Finidi George. This is a roster that belongs on the global stage. And Cameroon, the indomitable Lions, already champions of Africa more than once, with a habit of turning finals into hard lessons for everyone else. And they arrive with Rigobert Song's leadership at the back, and up front, a teenage forward about to become a global superstar, Samuel Eto'o, still a Real Madrid player on paper, still young enough to feel like tomorrow. AFCON 2000 is co-hosted by Nigeria and Ghana, and the final is in Lagos, a home final. It's a privilege and a trap. Nigeria is unbeaten in the tournament and with a long sense of invincibility on home soil. But the opponent senses the chance to silence a nation. And there's history between these two. Nigeria and Cameroon had already met in AFCON finals in 84 and 88, both won by Cameroon. So this isn't just a final, it's a trilogy, with Nigeria desperate to break the spell. Cameroon start the match like a team that has been here before. In the first half hour, they go 2 up. First Eto'o, a quick free kick, a turn, and a finish that lands like a warning shot. Then Patrick Mboma, and suddenly Lagos is quiet, in a way only a stunned home crowd can be quiet. Nigeria, though, are not built to go away, and right before halftime, they pull one back, Chukwu Ndukwe, from close range. And early in the second half, the moment that reminds you why this Nigerian side still lives in memory, JJ Okocha, from distance. A strike so clean it feels like it's been drawn into the corner. 2-2. Now the final becomes what finals are supposed to be, tense, elastic, full of near misses and nerves. Cameroon have chances to end it. Nigeria push and push, trying to ride the crowd. Extra time arrives, and Nigeria make a change that will become infamous. Victor Ikpeba comes on, a striker with a big reputation and the kind of swagger you want in a shootout. But in extra time it almost never gets to penalties. Nigeria create moments, a search here, a half chance there, and Ikpeba himself comes close. But after 120 minutes, it's still 2-2, so the title will be decided from 12 yards. In the penalty shootout, Nigeria score their first 2. Cameroon match them, and then Nigeria blink. Kanu steps up, and Cameroon's keeper, Buka Elium, saves. Cameroon now have the advantage. But then Cameroon blink too. Marc-Vivien Foé puts his penalty wide, and the door is open again. And then comes Nigeria's fourth kick, Victor Ikpeba. He hits it hard. It smashes the underside of the bar, bounces down, and from the TV pictures, it looks like it lands inside the goal, beyond the line, before bouncing back up and out of the goal. For a split second, nobody celebrates. The players are subdued, almost waiting for confirmation that never arrives. The commentator's voice has that unmistakable edge, confusion, and when the referee signals no goal, the stadium doesn't erupt, it freezes. Ikpeba walks away with his hands on his head, not screaming, just that stunned body language of a footballer who knows exactly what happened and also knows that knowing doesn't matter. This is the cruelty of the ghost goal. It's binary. Did it cross the line? Yes or no? In 2000, there's no goal line technology, no VAR, no mechanism to pause the world for 10 seconds and get it right. So the answer is decided by a human blink, even when an assistant standing right by the goal. Now it's sudden pressure again. Cameroon step up for their fifth, and Rigobert Song, Liverpool captain, Cameroon leader, and he holds his nerve. He scores. Cameroon win the shootout. Cameroon lift the trophy. That's the moment the footage changes. The hesitation disappears, the celebration arrives. And Nigeria, at home, are left with a sentence that still stings. We saw it go in, and it didn't count. So what? In the immediate aftermath, Nigeria rage and protest, but the result stands. Players and officials point fingers. Some in Nigeria accuse the referee of deciding a final on a guess and turning a national celebration into a national grievance. The referee points to the reality of the era. He didn't see it clearly. His assistant did the signal, and there was no technology to rescue the moment. And that's how football worked for most of its history. The whistle is final, even when the television says otherwise. But the deeper so what is bigger than Nigeria and Cameroon, because this becomes one of the sport's Exhibit A moments, a clip that returns every time football argues with itself about fairness. It sits on the same shelf as other ghost goals, the ones people still debate decades later, and it adds a uniquely modern cruelty. The whole world can see the truth, but the game can't acknowledge it. And this is where you can trace the arc. First came the push for goal line technology, a way to answer the simplest question in the game. Then came video review for the match-changing moments that television had already solved. Not to remove controversy, football will never allow that, but to remove the controversies that should never exist. AFCON 2 eventually brings video assistance into the tournament in the modern era, precisely because the stakes are too high to keep living with moments like Lagos. And if you want a single sentence for why VAR and the goal line tech exists, it is this: a final should never be decided by whether someone blinked. Now zoom back out to the human side. For Cameroon, this is a third continental crown and a defining night for a generation. For Rigobert Song, it's a captain's moment. Take the last kick, end the chaos, and lift the trophy. For Eto, it's a preview of the career to come. For Nigeria, it becomes a scar on a golden era, not because they weren't good enough, but because finals are ruthless and shootouts are microscopic, and sometimes the margin is not a player, it's a goal line. 3 things to take away from February 13, 2000. First, rivalries aren't built only on wins and losses. They're built on endings. Nigeria and Cameroon already had history. This ending poured cement into it. Second, penalty shootouts don't just test technique, they test interpretation. A shot can be perfect and still become a miss if the game can't verify what everyone else saw. And third, football's relationship with technology is driven by pain. The sport moves slowly, until a moment like this makes the case unavoidable. On this day in 2000, a penalty crossed the line in Lagos, and an entire continent watched the game pretend it didn't. That's all for episode 105 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Law Sky. If you enjoyed this story, follow the show, rate it, and share it with a football friend. Find us on LinkedIn, and for story suggestions, corrections, or leads, email us at otd@17lawsky.com. Tomorrow, episode 106, February 14, 1953, Derek Dooley, a collision, an amputation, and the way he refused to leave football behind. See you then.